Hey everyone, I wanted to come back and give you guys an update on my weight loss surgery. This is the 8th week since my vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or as some people call it, VSG. I did a vlog the first week of the hospital and when I was getting home, and the last thing that I had posted on my vlog, I was back in urgent care getting fluids. It basically went from bad to worse. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to watch this whole video, the last 8 weeks have been hell on earth. Probably the hardest of my entire life, physically. And I am only just now, within the last couple days, starting to feel normal. Kind of my new normal, I guess you could say. I just kind of wanted to, go through what it's been like for me. And before I start though, I do want to mention that my experience seems to be vastly different from most of the people that I have watched videos on or talked to or read about on the Facebook groups. It seems that most people do fairly well, and I seem to be the exception. So I don't want to scare anyone out of this surgery. That's not at all what the point of this is. I'm just kind of sharing my experience, but I also wanted to put it out there because I have seen a couple people who have had a very difficult time, and I think it's really hard for them, and it was hard for me, to see all these stories of people feeling great and eating foods and losing weight and being successful, and here you are feeling like you're at death's door and regretting your decision. And so I just think it's really important to know that you're not alone if you feel like that. So I hope that if someone stumbles upon this and feels that way, that there's, misery loves company, I guess. I don't know. I felt really, really alone. I couldn't find anyone else that felt like me. In fact, there was someone else that was making videos and on Instagram who had surgery right around the time that I did, and she was doing fabulous. She was going on vacations, and good for her, bad for me, because I was watching her and comparing myself, and you just cannot compare yourself to anyone because everyone heals differently. But I think that I had an extremely rough time. Excuse me, you burp a lot after the surgery. So I don't want to get all woe is me about this, so I'm just gonna breeze over what has happened for the last few weeks or few months actually. But basically, as I said, it was really hard. I was rehospitalized twice, once for 2 days, once for 5 days. I had to go to the emergency room twice and urgent care once or twice. Basically, I just had the most intense nausea of my life, aside from my second pregnancy, which I was bedridden with. And I have since learned from reading online that it's, this isn't scientifically proven, but a lot of women say if you've had really, really bad morning sickness, you could have really bad nausea after having this type of surgery. And that was absolutely true for me. My nausea was so bad I could not keep down water. I basically couldn't eat. I more or less didn't eat almost anything for a month at least. So that's why I kept getting rehospitalized. It wasn't any major complications. I was incredibly lucky. They did a CT scan with contrast and an upper endoscopy, and everything was textbook perfect, which I am so incredibly thankful for. You do not want to have complications with this. So really the issue that I had was just my body reacting to this and healing from it. And I think also one of the things was I really, really loved my surgeon. Even he admitted a couple weeks ago that he had underestimated just how bad my nausea was. I had come off of some of my psychiatric medications for depression and anxiety because I could no longer swallow the pills. So I inadvertently went off of them cold turkey. And I think that he and everyone else thought oh, the nausea is just from that. And then I think it was oh, well, she's off these medications, so she's really anxious and the nausea is from that. And I knew that that was not the case. I mean, I don't think either one of those things helped, but I knew that this was not normal nausea. And I think that as the weeks went by and I still wasn't getting better, finally everyone else realized, like, oh yeah, it really is just shitty and not going away. So it was very validating to hear him say that, because we were all getting really frustrated, we being my husband and my mom who was down helping. We were really frustrated. We felt like no one was listening to us, no one could help me. I remember just laying in my bed crying, saying, why can't these doctors fix this? It's just nausea. Like, fix it. Give me a pill. Like, you were able to take out half my stomach and keep me alive. Why can't you just make it so that I don't dry heave when I drink water? You know, so it was incredibly frustrating. But eventually things did start to get better. And I think the real turning point was that I had a PICC line put in. I can't remember what PICC stands for, but it's PICC. And basically it's a longer term IV. So an IV will usually just go in a superficial vein, whereas a PICC line, you have to go to radiology and they actually take x-rays while they put it in. And they put in a line, and it's about this long, and it starts from your arm and it goes all the way through to your chest to here. And the reason that they did that is so that I could give myself IV fluids at home every day, so that I didn't have to stay in the hospital, because I didn't need to be in the hospital. I was, you know, technically fine, just really dehydrated and unable to keep things down. So I had that in for, I believe, 3 weeks. I just had it taken out, and it's just been amazing having it out. It was such a blessing to have that, and I really believe that that was instrumental in my healing and finally being able to hydrate and eat, but it was really a pain in the ass. So I want to show you really quick what it looks like now that it's out. So this is where it started, right here. And it, as I said, it went through here all the way into your underarm, into your chest. And there was like wires and not wires, there were not wires. There was tubing hanging out of this. And every night my husband would hook up the tubing to the IV bag, and I would get a liter of fluids. And the last like 4 days that I had it in, we didn't hook up to any fluids, and I just hydrated on my own. And that was a recommendation of my surgeons. So if anyone does have a PICC line, it's really, really rare that you will have that. But towards the end, it's good to keep it in, because it's a pain in the butt to get in. And just hydrate yourself and see if you can do it. Because if you can't, then you go back to the PICC line and it's still there, and you don't have to go through the rigmarole of getting it put in. So the second thing that I think really, really helped me get back on my feet was that I saw my psychiatrist, and I don't know why, but he is really good with nausea medications, and he prescribed me a new one that my surgeon hadn't given me, and it was just really amazing. It's called Remeron, and it really, really has helped me out. So I think those were the two main things that really, really helped. The other things I think that helped were I started taking Xanax all throughout the day. Like I think I took 3 a day, so morning, noon, and night. And I think that that just really calmed down my stomach. I mean, it calmed down my head too. I was feeling pretty good. But it just relaxed all my muscles, including my stomach. And I think that that was helpful. The other thing is I use something called CBD oil, which is I don't know how they do this, but it is made from medical marijuana, and which is legal in California. And if it's legal in your state, I highly recommend that you try it, because I had tried every prescription drug out there for nausea aside from the Remeron. Nothing helped at all. And the CBD oil, which does not have THC in it, it will not make you feel stoned whatsoever. So do some research on it. But the CBD oil is it just kind of helps to, again, relax you, relax your stomach, help with nausea. I believe a lot of cancer patients and other people who suffer from nausea use it as well, and it's really, really helpful. So those are the other two things that helped. Today is my 8-week surgery, So it's been 8 weeks since I had the sleeve surgery. I am down 40 pounds, which is awesome. Although I would have rather, I think, felt better and lost weight slower. I mean, I think I lost a lot of the weight because I literally was not eating. So I'm still every day making improvements, but for the most part, I'm feeling a lot better. I still have nausea every time I eat, but it's manageable, and yeah. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering if I regret having this surgery, and I think that right now it's just too soon to tell. Before I was feeling better, I would cry every day to my husband. I would cry and ask for my stomach back. As if they could really do that, as if they like kept it and we're like, we're just gonna keep this just in case you want us to like stitch it back in. Like, no. But I regretted it every single day, every day. But I was feeling miserable and terrible, and I wasn't able to eat or even drink water. So it's not a shocker that I would have had regrets at that time. Now, looking back, every day I regret it less, and I don't think that I can actually answer that question right now. I think I'm like too close to the situation, and so I feel like for me I'm gonna need like 6 months to a year before I can decide if this was a good decision for me. Physically, it has obviously been a good decision. I'm down 40 pounds. A lot of my health issues have already improved in just 8 weeks. My sleep apnea is better, my blood pressure is lower, my blood sugars are lower. So health-wise, I don't regret it because I've already seen some improvements. But I'm not gonna lie and say that it's been easy and that I'm totally happy that I've done it, because there are moments when I still wonder if I should have done this. But again, I think that I will feel a lot different in a year when I'm completely, attuned to my new normal. And as for if I think anyone else should do this, I wholeheartedly say yes. I think that, again, as I've said a few times now, I'm the exception and not the rule. Most people do not have a difficult time, and if you go in any of the Facebook groups and you ask people if they've regretted it, the one thing that people will say is they regret not doing it sooner because it has been so life-changing for them. So what I really, really encourage you to do is to find a good surgeon and to do your research. If anyone has any questions or concerns or anything about an upcoming surgery that they're having or may be having, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, and I would be more than happy to answer them, and more than happy to do any more videos if you guys are interested. I'll probably do updates every now and then about how things are going, and I also want to do a what I eat in a day, but right now I don't really eat very much still, so it would be kind of boring, so I'll probably do that in a couple months. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful for any of you, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.